like it's paper thin. When you go against the crowd, they try to cut you down. You cannot be broken. You're rising from the ground. Resilient, stronger than you know. You're brilliant. You're brilliant. When you let your colors show, you're wildflower. You won't be down below. Resilient, you're brilliant, you're strong. A lone voice in the desert, in 1,000 miles of heat. Some days you wonder how you're standing on your feet. When you feel you're growing weak, no one hears your cries. Remember, you are here on earth to bloom and to inspire. You won't bow down to the crowd when they try to cut you down. You will not be broken. You're rising from the ground. Resilient, stronger than you know. You're brilliant. When you let your colors show, you won't be down below. Resilient, you're brilliant, you're strong. Show me how, when I'm down, I can get back up again, and again, and again. Stronger than you know. You're brilliant, you're brilliant. When you let your colors show, you're wildflower. You won't be down below. Resilient, you're brilliant. You're stronger than you know. Resilient, stronger than you know. You won't be down below. Resilient, you're brilliant, you're strong. You're a wildflower in a field of gray concrete. Got my hot cappuccino. Don't forget the whipped cream. Cute guy at the counter winked at me. I reached into my pocket of my old blue jeans and found 45 bucks. Oh yeah, shopping spree. And nothing's in my way, nothing's in my way, yeah, I know. Oh, it's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good day. Maybe there'll be April showers. I will stop to smell the flowers anyway. The sun may shine or the sun may hide. Nothing's gonna take the happy, nothing's gonna take the happy off my face. It's gonna be a good day. Behind a big yellow school bus, the kids are waving hello. And all you need is love is on the radio. Oh, oh, driving up to the toll booth. Somebody covered my fare. I pay the favor forward so someone else can share. In this nothing's in the way kind of day, yeah, I know. It's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good day. Maybe there'll be April showers. I will stop to smell the flowers.
Welcome to the Napa Valley Center for Spiritual Living. We are a vibrant, inclusive, and spiritual community that seeks to live intentionally, love unconditionally, and see God in all people and in all faiths. We believe the work we do in prayer and in the community creates a world that works for all cultures, races, orientations, and faiths. For over 60 years, we have practiced thinking globally and acting locally to help awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. Annually, hundreds of people actively participate in our services, classes, events, and in our Spanish-speaking ministry. And we are training the next generation of spiritual leadership in our ministerial school. In the last few years, because of apparent divisions politically and socially, and because of threats to basic human rights, we have magnified our application of science of mind principles with engagement and compassion in action in the greater Napa Valley community. Our members have participated in women's marches, pride events, and we have hosted speakers on racial issues. We have empowered and mentored diverse leaders in our community and given scholarships to diverse ministerial students. We have donated over 4,000 pounds of food to our local food bank. Our spiritual director, Reverend Jay Lang, has facilitated an interfaith leadership group to hold public prayer vigils and 9/11 commemorations in participation with Jews, Muslims, and Christians. We have fostered the creation of a beloved community in the larger Napa Valley area by honoring community heroes at events and tithing to and partnering with a dozen different nonprofits that share our vision. Together, we've created a Martin Luther King Day of Service where over 1,200 participated in community service annually. The leadership of our parent organization, the Centers for Spiritual Living, headquartered in Golden, Colorado, recognized our community for all of the outstanding, compassionate work we've been doing over the last few years with the 2022 Meritorious Community Award. As we move forward to do this work of the heart, to awaken the world to its spiritual magnificence, will you join us as we continue to ascend to new heights and create a world that works for everyone?
So good to have you here. I think it was hard to get you guys to come in today. It's so nice outside. So nice outside. So good to feel the warmth of the sun today. And what I know is there's warmth in this community too. So good to have you here. Good to welcome everybody, especially if this is your first time. A special welcome to you. And we'd like to begin with a little music. And here's Astra Fox. Let's welcome her.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to start this one with a call and response. So repeat after me, and then we'll do that once through, and then we'll put it all together, all right? It's called Freedom and Peace. I am powerful, I am. All right, your turn. I am powerful, I am. I can do anything, I can do anything. My life's created by me, my life's created by me. In my body I feel, in my body I feel. Freedom and peace, freedom and peace. All together, here we go. I am. I am powerful, I am. I can do anything, I can do anything. My life's created by me. In my body I feel freedom and peace. Let's do it one more time. I I am. You got it. I am powerful. I can do anything. I can do anything. My life's created by me. In my body, I feel freedom and peace. I am powerful. I am powerful. I am. Last time. I am powerful. I am.
Thank
They
you.
sounded good.
They sounded good. I know. And for Easter, we're one little choir. I don't know if you heard that, but we have if you received an email from me, then you were already on the choir list. But if you still want to be a part of it, there's a list outside. I'll tell you more about that in a bit. But there's 2 songs that Arianne and Janet want you to sing with them, and it'll be fun. It's just for Joy Choir. You know, we're not going to worry about the parts or even whether you're in tune or not. It's just the for fun part. So that'll be great. Well, it is so nice to have the warmth out after all this rain we've had. I don't know about you, but anytime anybody says the word atmospheric river, I sort of have a tick now. Like a what? I feel like, I know we wanted with the drought, we wanted more rain, but it feels like, I don't know if you're a fan of the musical Oliver Twist or the book Oliver Twist. And there's that one scene where they're eating their porridge and little Oliver goes up and everybody sees him walking up there and they quit breathing because, no, don't do it. Don't do it. And sure enough, he asks, please, sir, may I have some more? And everybody goes, no, not more. No, and I feel like we're doing that, no more. But I think we may be heading into the drier and warmer parts of the spring now. What I know is in yards across Napa, with all this moisture and now with the warmth, there's one thing I guarantee that are popping up in every yard. Nope, garage sales. I don't know about you, but they're all over my neighborhood. And construction will follow, I'm sure, right? In fact, construction is on 3 sides of us right here, and I appreciate your patience in that. We took advantage. We had a large donation of a person who's actually not live in Napa, but lives outside of Napa. A large $60,000 donation that really helped us get this project started. We're still looking for more donations to help finish off the seat wall we have back there. So if any donations over $500 will go on the plaque that goes on the wall, we appreciate that. But it's going to be exciting, and it looks like if what's the phrase? If God's willing and the creek don't rise. Again, because it's been rising several times lately, but then it'll be poured this week, Tuesday or Wednesday of this week, and we may have a courtyard for Easter. So we'll see. No promises. It's probably 50-50 now, but I think it's going to be warm enough where we could be outside and we could have some fun. So we also need people to help come early that day. I'll feed you. I'll provide bagels and cream cheese to set out chairs and things like that. So we'll start at 9 o'clock that morning. I'll send out an email to remind people, but if you can help put out chairs. And yes, Mary Ward.
You keep saying that day, it's next Sunday.
I know. I'm aware of that.
You keep saying that day.
Everybody knows when Easter is. That's why. 7 days from now, April 9th. We'll get there. I promise you. So I do want to mention, I want to do a plug for I got to do this right. The Napa Valley Food Project, Green Bag, I always call it the Green Bag Project, but it's part of Napa Can Do that we're in cooperation with, bringing non-perishable items every other month in the even months. And that is it's Easter Sunday, which is April 9th. And next Sunday. And if you want to participate, please pick up a green bag, sign up, pick up a green bag, or hang on, just a minute, Kathleen. Or if you already have a green bag, bring that. And we're starting to collect now because it's on Easter. If you want to bring it before, we're here Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, 10 to 5, but call to make sure we're here. And yes, Kathleen, no glass containers. And, non-perishable items. There's a list on your little card that you'll have that'll give you a list. It's the idea is when you're shopping, you just shop for that at the same time. And often I see these green bags in the store. They're in probably 20 neighborhoods across the city. And we're just acting as if we're a neighborhood in that way. We're the only church doing this, but there are several neighborhoods doing it. So want to be a part of that. And then coming up on May 6th, a big event we have, Sip and Savor. We have it'll be in our courtyard with a different surface there, but we'll be able to just enjoy the day. There's so many wonderful things about Sip and Savor that we have, but most of it is about community, just getting to talk with each other, share some time. If you're not a drinker, that's fine. We'll have plenty of non-alcoholic drinks too, and honor certain people that have been nominated and have been awarded the Compassionate Heart Award. And that includes Hope Lugo, who's been an advocate for family and children, improving low-income Napa residents and farm workers and health education, health care, education, and housing. Carol Poole in the middle. She's the Vice President of Napa Wildlife Rescue. And Dr. Marty Shoulders, the Medical Director at Aldea Children and Family Services, pretty much since its inception. So between these people, Hope Lugo has been in service maybe 70 years, maybe 80. She's in her 90s. She started young because her parents were activists too. I don't know how long Carol's been doing her work, but Marty's been doing his work for 50 years since Aldea started. So we're really going to enjoy that, to be able to honor them. And then we also have a live and silent auction. We have wine tasting from several different premium wineries here. We have savory food. We have a lot of different activities during the time just to socialize and be. So we appreciate you being a part of that. We have tickets on sale now for the event, as well as we're still accepting items for the live auction. There can be many different kinds of things, including gift cards, fine art, different kinds of services, baskets of maybe picnic or spa products, vacation rentals. And what I would appreciate you doing, there's cards out on the table as you leave to pick up some of those cards and some of those sheets. And go to the restaurants the people that provide massage, or that maybe clients that you're a client of them, and just ask them if they're willing to donate a service of some kind or a gift card, or we would appreciate that very much. And then tickets are now on sale. There's an early bird discount going on now. $30 a person is the early bird discount. It's going to go up to $50 the day of the event, or two for $50 right now, the early bird discount, if you want to buy 2 tickets at once. But if you think about it, there's going to be 6 wineries pouring wine, and any wine tasting experience you have here in the Valley is at least $60 to $100, depending on where you go. So it's worth that. That's why we encourage you to get your tickets early. And also there's volunteer signups going on to be a part of any part of the teams. What we're promising people this year, in past years, some people have been stuck in the volunteer time and didn't get around to do much. This year, your volunteer is going to be about 45 minutes, I would say, time commitment. And the rest of the time you can be part of the event. So we're promising you that to create rotation of volunteers. And then other things going on. This is April week. This is Easter week. It's also an April week, but Easter week. So on Thursday, we have this really beautiful, sacred, metaphysical communion service we have here in the sanctuary. And it's just a moment to reframe what communion means to us, that it's not about dying, but it's about living. And it's just a beautiful service, one of our most beautiful services, I think. And then Friday from 4 to 7 p.m., we'll have a labyrinth here in the sanctuary. And so you can come anytime during that. It's just an open time. Come anytime, and it'll take about half an hour to walk the labyrinth. This is not speed walking, it's contemplative time, and you'll be given information about what the labyrinth means. And it really fills up this whole room. So it's really a nice labyrinth that's been created. And then April 9th, is that next Sunday, Mary? April 9th is Easter. And we'll also have a children's Easter egg hunt after the service on, so that'll be fun. Hopefully in our courtyard, right? And then I mentioned these. I guess I had slides for those I didn't use. But then we also had Arianne and Janet, who is the music for that day. They're planning some great music, both fun and sacred. And they are able to pull that off well. So I'm going to enjoy their music. And then we're continuing to raise money for this rock wall that looks like that. And then we're also have two important events coming up after Easter. The first one, it starts on Monday the 10th, or the Monday right after Easter. And that's a revolutionary love project study group based on Valerie Carr's book, See No Stranger. You don't have to have read the book ahead of time, but the idea is to be able to discuss parts of the book and then also talk about ways that action we can take here in Napa Valley that further this idea of a revolutionary love. And then on April 16th, Georgia Davis, she's a ministerial intern and practitioner now, will be the speaker. And that afternoon, Astra, you would come up and talk about your workshop?
Yes. Thank you so much. So, as you know, part of my purpose is being a musician here for you all. One of my other parts of my purpose is being a certified spiritual life coach. And I'm passionate about supporting people in living their life's joyful purpose through expressing their unique passions and gifts. So what I've found is that what holds people back from expressing their passions and gifts is their limiting belief systems. So in this workshop, we're going to identify the limiting belief systems that are holding you back, do a simple process that will help you release that and identify new belief systems that will empower you and support your purpose. And then you will each leave with your own personal musical mantra that you can use in your own practice to support your new empowered beliefs so you can reach your goals. So I hope you'll join me. I'm really excited to share this process with you.
I think that'd be really fun. So you can register at the guest table afterwards for either the study group or the mantra, the musical mantras for the mindset workshop, or you can sign up online. If you get our emails, it came this morning, or you can look on the website under class events and you'll find it there. So you can either place you can register. So I think it will be fun. And then on April 30th, we have another guest speaker, and this is Dr. Reverend Edward Villune, who is former spiritual leader of our whole movement, and he's also the senior minister at Center for Spiritual Living Santa Rosa. So that'll be fun to have him here. And I hope you're able to ask him some questions afterwards, kind of get where things are at. So now we'll begin the sacred part of our service. We didn't do our vision and mission, did we? I'm just jumping ahead. I was so excited about today. Well, we need to do that. Where is it? It's not even on here. Guess what? We know it anyway, don't we? We know it. It's not there. It's not in there. So I will say we know it. So our vision is we are a spiritual center for, do we know it? I know the mission. I know the mission. What? We are an inclusive community for spiritual growth and compassionate action. And now the one we know really well, we are co-creating a world that works for everyone by living intentionally, loving unconditionally, and seeing God in all people and all faiths. And now we'll begin the sacred part of our service.
I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. Won't you join me? I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me.
So we just let that sense of that healing within us. So we just allow our body to relax, allow our body just to be where it is right now. And just breathe deeply into the core of our being, knowing that all is God. And we are connected and one with that which is greater than us. As we open up to this time, we're gathered together, whether you are online with us or here in person. I just want to read the Lord's Prayer as interpreted in the original Aramaic by Neil Douglas Clotes. It offers a different wording of it, which he believes is the original intent of what we now call the Lord's Prayer. So it begins in Aramaic. Abun dish bashamaya, O birther, Father, Mother of the cosmos, you create all that moves in light. Focus your light within us, make it useful as the rays of a beacon show the way. Create your reign of unity now through our fiery hearts and willing hands. You are one desire that acts within ours, as in all light, so in all forms. Grant what we need each day in bread and insight, substance for the call of growing life. Loose the cords of mistakes binding us as we release the strands we hold of each other's guilt. Don't let us enter forgetfulness, but free us from unripeness. From you is born all ruling will, the power and the life to do that. The song that beautifies all from age to age, it renews. Amen. Truly, power to those statements. May they be the source from which all my actions grow, sealed in trust and faith. Amen. So be it. So let those words sink into you from the original intent, according to Douglas Cloutes. Loose the cords of mistakes that are binding us. Just notice what binds you today and just let them loose. As we remember the truth of who we are in this day. And we know that Spirit provides the bread and insight that is the sustenance for our growing life. We know this to be the truth. And so it is.
We're going to pick it up a little bit here. I wrote this song thinking about how the world is really happening in our favor. It's called Smiling. Sitting on the front porch, sipping my tea. Sun through the treetops is smiling at me. It's smiling at me. Smiling at me. Chilling in the garden by the fruit tree. Wind through the hillside is waving at me. It's waving at me. Waving at me. Take some time and watch your world align. When you forget your cares, you feel just fine. Swimming in the river, feeling carefree. The birds on the water are singing for me. They're singing for me. Singing for me. Life is sweet when you allow it to just be. Chilling in the garden by the fruit trees. The wind through the hillside is waving at me. It's waving at me. Waving at me. Take some time and watch your world align. If you forget your cares, you'll feel just fine. Swimming in the river, feeling carefree. The birds on the water are singing for me. They're singing for me. Singing for me. Life is sweet when you allow it to just be. Playing in the moonlight, feeling divine. Stars in the night sky are taking their time. They're taking their time. Taking their time.
So beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. I just can't imagine that mantra workshop is going to be so fun. I think that'll be great. So, because it's so great to have, like affirmations, but to have it in music. I think of always as music as a prayer sung twice is what I've heard a song. You like that?
It's so true. It makes them more powerful.
Yeah, it's a Jamie Lula quote there. So, yeah. So we continue to open up this year with the same theme, which is living out loud, which doesn't mean we have to be loud, but it means how we show up in the world as being clear and powerful. And being April, we have a new theme for April. In March, it was awakening our spiritual magnificence. And now in April, we're moving into awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. That's a big, big statement, isn't it? Now we're moving out a little more. That's all this about living out loud. I was trained on, went through some seminars and classes with a person named Jim Collins, and he wrote a book called Good to Great. And he would call goals like this BHAGs, which stands for a big, audacious, hairy goal. So it's a big goal, and it can seem overwhelming. But his examples of a big hag is, for example, in the 60s, those of you who are around then, you remember NASA was trying to put a person on the moon. That sounded like a crazy thing, right? But they did it. And the way they did it is that was their focus. That's all they worked on. Everything was about that, creating trial rockets and ways to do it and do mock things there in Houston. They were, and it all created that. And now the big BHAG, the one I think of most is about reducing our carbon emissions, reducing the amount of fossil fuels we use. Some people even talk about eliminating our use of fossil fuels at all. That seems crazy right now because we're still using a whole lot of them. But it's that big, it's what the globe needs to have significant reductions in carbon, or we're not going to have the kind of planet we have right now. It'll be a very different planet. And I think part of our contribution from a spiritual perspective is to awaken people to their spiritual magnificence. Now, we can't make anybody awaken. We were like, shake them, waken up. That's not going to happen. But we can create a space for them. We can listen to them. We can harmonize with a high vibration of consciousness that people rise into that. You remember Diego Garcia, that used to be our music director, those of you who are here. I remember he's a lawyer now, and he would tell me that when he walked into a room or was in a meeting as a lawyer, whenever he came into the room, things shifted because he had this consciousness. It wasn't made him better than anybody else, but there was a vibration that changed. And you can imagine the legal world, there's not a lot of that vibration, perhaps. But he said people noticed, and they didn't realize it was him necessarily, but they noticed things got calmer and agreements were made easier. People were willing to compromise more. And so I think that's the difference that we can make even in our career world, our social worlds outside of this community in all ways. So we're raising the level, we're raising the bar of this consciousness. And we have to come from our spiritual magnificence also, because that's what raises this bar up. Mirabai Starr, who is this incredible mystic, I would call her, from many different combinations, is she says, the heaven to which Jesus points is the spaciousness within ourselves, one that makes room for those who threaten us, for those who are different, even for those who have betrayed us. So this is a kind of spaciousness that we're talking about, that we can allow people to have, that we create spaciousness within ourselves. I often, I was told from an old sailor friend of mine, he would say that in the nautical world, in the sailing world, the ships that are more maneuverable yield to the ones that are least maneuverable. So if you have a smaller ship that can turn easily and move, these big barges and big cruise lines have more trouble turning on a dime. So the smaller crafts. And so I always consider myself the most maneuverable ship, and I'm willing to yield. I don't need to be stubborn and set in my ways. I want to create a spaciousness for people. And so we can choose to be that more maneuverable self. And in that way, we can create a spiritual confidence, which is what the weekly theme is today. What I call a Godfidence, to have a sense of authority in us, not because we're better than anybody else, but because we have a sense of the divine within us, a sense of oneness, a sense of peace and joy and love. And do I have that all the time? No. Sometimes I appreciated the Lord's Prayer that I read to you earlier, and the phrase, what is it? Free us from unripeness. There's times I feel unripened, a little green. Think of a fruit or an apple or a grape that you eat before it's ripe. It's like got like bitterness to it. So sometimes I don't allow myself to ripen enough to be in the flow, and I can come off a little tannic. So what I try and do is remember that any place I go. I talked about doorways. I often use doorways particularly when I'm going into a room where I'm just coming into the room and I don't know what's going on in the room. I might know some people that are there, but I leave my BS, my belief systems at the door. I come into alignment, and I try to ripen up a little bit before I come into a room and be connected in that way. Gabrielle Bernstein says, I speak with confidence because the world needs my light. And I can't think of any other, that is such a powerful statement in my mind, that the world needs my light, needs our light. So we come with this confidence, this Godfidence, because it makes a difference in the world. We know of the division here in the U.S. And we talk about awakening. I found out I'm not as woke as I thought I might be. I'm somewhere in the middle, but that's a good place to be because I can hear many different sides of what people say. I don't have to agree with anybody. I'm not saying I'm trying to tell, oh, I agree with that. Oh, I agree with that. Oh, I agree with that. I'm just listening. That's all I'm doing and not reacting. Allow that spaciousness to have. And this is that kind of Godfidence we can do because we know no matter the changes in this world, we know what the unchangeable is spirit. And we can rely on that. Ernest Holmes, our founder, says, when we establish within our thought a non-resistance to that power that is greater than we are at the same time accepting within ourselves a stability that is the stability of the universe. I don't know about you, but at times it doesn't feel very stable. It feels very uncertain times right now. But my anchor, our anchor, can be spirit. That is the stability of the universe. We find ourselves secure, for we know that we are part of that which causes change, but is never affected by any of the changes. Let me read that again. We find ourselves secure, for we know that we are part of that which causes changes, but is never affected by any of the changes. It's the deep water underneath the chaos of the surface waters. And we know that. And that's why I have shifted my connection with spirit. The way I describe it is not a faith or a confidence in God, like in God, in something beyond us would mean I'm depending on that to rescue me, to save me, to do something for me. But instead, it's a confidence of God. A confidence of knowing the God within me. And from this place, it's that which I know can cause change, but at the same time is never affected by any of the changes. And in these uncertain times, this is where we stand on spiritual authority, our spiritual confidence that is of God, not in God. I love this time of year because I give myself permission to talk about Jesus more than I usually do, but around Easter and Palm Sunday. And here, hold your hands up for a minute. Everybody hold your hands up. That's it. Yep, it confirms this is Palm Sunday, all right? Oh, don't turn on me now. A lot of people tried to pick up the palm leaves coming in, like, who left this mess down here? The Palm Sunday is such an incredible story, you know, and I'm one that I don't believe in the Bible literally, but I love the stories in the Bible. I just love, and Palm Sunday is one of my favorite stories because here Jesus spent his entire ministry saying that like miracles happened when he was there, but he says it's not me, it is God through me that does these miracles. But after they were done, like dead people rising up, lepers being healed, blind people being able to see, he said, don't tell anybody about this. Keep it quiet. Because he knew once word got out that people would focus on him and put blame on him. And that he might not be able to finish what he wanted to do before he left this planet. So he's real clear, don't tell anybody. But here on Palm Sunday, he's coming into Jerusalem for Passover. He's a Jew, So he's coming in to celebrate the unleavened feast. The feast is the food and the celebrations of Passover. And he knows today is the day. Today is the day to shine, to be full in my power and to show that power. Something inside of him knew it was time now. So he had the sense to tell somebody to go into town to get a donkey for him. And he rode the donkey into town, and people knew who he was. People started talking, and they started praising and singing his name and laid down palm branches in honor of him, almost like a robe saying, Hosanna, 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 praise you. You are a master, a teacher, a rabbi. And he took it all in and was, for the first time, not telling anybody to quiet down. He took it all in. And he knew it was God through him. It wasn't like him personally. And the Pharisees, the Jewish leaders whose main job was, or according to what they thought their main job was, not actually to be a religious leader, but it was to keep the Jewish people from rebelling against the Romans. They were paid by the Romans to keep the Jews quiet, basically. And so when things begin to get crazy and celebrating loud, the Pharisees told Jesus, quiet these people. The Romans are going to come and they're going to tear down all our temples. It's going to be a disaster. And Jesus said, you don't understand. Even if I told the crowds to quiet, the rocks themselves would begin to sing. Because the consciousness had pervaded so much, that it was everywhere, in every rock, in every energy. The high calibration, the high vibration of this consciousness couldn't be stopped now. And he knew that this was the time that he might die, he might be incarcerated, and that which he was teaching would continue because it wasn't about the words to start with. Everybody wanted to understand what the words meant, but it was never about the words. It was the spiritual practices, the wisdom that was brought within and lived from, that created this consciousness, that made the difference. And sure enough, he left the world in a few days, and that consciousness continued. People even call it Christ consciousness. Not that he's the only person that can achieve it, but he was an enlightened being, a high vibration of it. Some people that calibrate the vibration of consciousness on scales of 1 to 1,000 put his consciousness in the 900s. As does other avatars and spiritual leaders, but it was a high vibration of consciousness that he achieved. And so we can align ourselves with that. This phrase, love, serve, and remember, continues to echo in my mind, especially this time of the year, because I think that's what Jesus was all about. People wanted Jesus, some of his followers wanted him to be the rebel, the zealot, wanted him to create an insurrection against the Roman government. That word will never be the same now, right? But wanted to create a riot and protest and overthrow the Roman government. And he said, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to not rebel against the law, but to fulfill the law. And he said that all of the laws that are in the Jewish tradition, you're going to read about it in Leviticus. It goes through things like you can't wear something that is of two different kinds of fabric, like a cotton and a polyester, what we would know. That's half our clothes, right? He said all of these laws are not important anymore. There's only 2 commandments now. They replace everything else. And the first one is to love God with all your heart, your soul, your strength, and your mind. Fully love, and to love thy neighbor as thyself. That's all. Love. And so when we talk about love, serve, and remember, this love is the basis of all his teachings. That he opened up to this idea of recreating things. And I know love sometimes is a challenge for me, but when there's a mass shooting like the one last week in Tennessee, I was distraught over that. I think many of us were. And you know, I was especially distraught because it's children, but in truth, all the mass shootings are tragedy. And it doesn't mean we take them passively. There's things we can take stands on. You know, if you think that guns of mass destruction are ones we need to take a stand against, do that. I certainly do. I also advocate for mental health, that we need better community resources for mental health. And police officers and police forces that are trained for that. I know our Napa City Council is above average in terms of their training for crisis response. And that's because of certain things that happened. They've learned from that. But that's the important thing. They learned from that. And we all need to learn from that and figure out what we can do to create a world that works for everyone. But this idea of love. And I go back to what Marshall Rosenberg said. He started a movement called non-violent communication. And he says that, whoops, back. Did I jump back? Thank you. Every criticism, judgment, diagnosis, and expression of anger is the tragic expression of an unmet need. So this expression of anger is an unmet need. And he goes on to say all violence is a result of people tricking themselves into believing that their pain derives from other people and that consequently those people deserve to be punished. So it is a unmet need. So this goes back to that idea that if we're facilitating people to awaken to their spiritual magnificence, it means we're listening. We're giving space to them. We're not shutting them out in other ways. And this love that is created, this greater truth that we have that allows us to loose the cords of mistakes that bind us, release the strands we hold of others' guilt. We don't let us enter in forgetfulness. Remind us to waken up and free us from this unripeness. I love what Myrtle Fillmore says. She's the founder of Unity. If you don't know what she said that what therefore God hath joined together, let no one put it asunder. You've probably heard this in terms of wedding ceremonies. You often do this. But she was talking about something bigger here. So basically, we are one with all that is, with God, with all humans, with all of life. We were created that way. We were that way before we came into this incarnation, and we will be afterwards. So if Spirit is creating us with this in mind, there was no original sin, I don't think. We're original blessing. It's the story of Adam and Eve. We ate an apple and we gained consciousness. We could see things like God saw them, according to the story. We gained wisdom. We were able to be awakened. It was an awakening point of view. So we are this oneness. Why would we be divisive then? Why would we put it asunder and not let that? And then we serve, love, serve, and remember. What I love about the story of Jesus in what now is called the Last Supper, but really it was just a regular Passover meal for them. And the basics of the meal were bread and wine and perhaps some fish if there was available. Just some basic food they had. So Jesus took what was there. First of all, he washed the feet of his disciples. He served them. And then he took the bread was there and he broke it. Now, what you need to know is that Jewish people, when they break their fast, they've been fasting by day, a breakfast, you break the fast, you break the bread. That's the first thing you do. So he broke the bread, not saying that this was his body that was broken for him, but instead he said, Take, eat, all of you. This represents the divine life in my body, which was given for you. So basically, he was saying, I served you. So when you sit down and eat this bread, remember me, remember my teachings, don't forget me. Nobody wants to be forgotten, right? When you eat, remember me and allow this to sustain you. And in his prayer, grant what we need each day in bread and insight. Allow that to sustain us. So this was not about his body, but about life itself that is opened up for us. Our hearts are opened up so we can serve better. And then he took the wine, which was also a part of that meal. And he did say this represents blood, but it wasn't his blood. Remember, this is Passover. The tradition of Passover was you take the blood of a sacrificed animal and you put it over your door, over the mantle, and that the angel of death would pass over you so you wouldn't receive the plague. So the Jews believed that this sacrifice they had of blood would save them, would keep them from experiencing tragedy. And what Jesus is saying, you don't have to sacrifice animals. You don't have to sacrifice anybody either. Let this be your remembering that this blood that is within you is spirit itself, and it flows through you like life flows through you. That you can surrender, you can be forgiven by simply opening up to it. Nobody out there is forgiving you. You just need to loosen up that which binds you. And loosen up the binds you hold other people for. This is a remembering of this. So if you come to the communion on Thursday, we'll do more of this in a more ritualistic way to allow you to open up to that. And then he went, the other part is to in memory. This is a picture of Inuit women, native far north Alaska and Canada. I think this is an incredible photo because in my mind, what they're remembering their ancestors, they're remembering their own blood. The red scarves you see there represent the blood of their people that's not been shed. It is not about death. It's about their life that they continue, that for too long their way was suppressed, but now they are proud and they know that they have ancestors that are guiding them. I also know this kind of memory is when we go within, that Jesus talked about going to the wilderness to remember. And I love this photo because in the dew there, the one drop, you see a reflection of a flower. So within each of us, we are each the dew that is part of the bigger water, the bigger sea of life that is. And we reflect back to us this life that we can remember. When Jesus, at the end of the Last Supper, went to the Garden of Gethsemane to pray, he asked his disciples not to go to sleep, to stay with him and hold vigil with him. And they kept falling asleep, and he'd come back down the hill and he'd be mad at them for falling asleep. Maybe they should have been drinking coffee instead of wine, right? But this is his message. This is Buddha's message. This is Krishna's message. Don't fall asleep. Stay awake. Stay alert. Be conscious in this way. And this is the way that we love, serve, and remember. So I'm going to have Astra come up and sing the song about love. This is John Astor. Yeah, that his song that was inspired by Ram Dass's words. He was a student of Ram Dass. To love, serve, and remember.
have you come to earth? Do you remember? Why have you taken birth? Why have you come to love, serve and remember, to love, to serve and remember, love, serve and remember, to love, serve and remember.
So take a moment and go within. Why have you come to earth? How can you love, serve, and remember in your life? Think of the ways you are already loving, serving, and remembering. And what are other ways that you can? Just allow the words of the song to allow you to go deeper.
To love, serve and remember, to love, serve and remember, to love, serve and remember, to love, serve and remember.
So what I know in this moment is that we are one with Spirit. This universal presence that is our resource, our stability, our reservoir of love. Whenever we feel depleted, we can be re-energized. We can know deeper in remembering. And I know that Spirit is this remembering in you that nudges you, that moves through you, just like Spirit moved through Jesus. The same Spirit it's the same Spirit that moved through each of us. That we are what Valerie Carr calls midwives of this great revolutionary love. This awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. I know that Spirit in us is also the intuition to take another moment to listen to somebody, to pay attention, to offer a prayer for them, to offer a spaciousness within us. I know this is all Spirit and it is all good. And we're grateful for this truth. We're grateful for this knowing as we release this knowing into the law. As Jesus said, to fulfill the law. We too are here to fulfill the law, to allow humanity to awaken to its spiritual magnificence. And for this, I'm grateful. And so it is. And you have another song for us?
I do.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
This is one of my new songs. I breathe this light I see is a gift. This and me, it is a gift, and we are worthy. This heart that beats is a gift. This voice that speaks is a gift. This energy connecting you to me, it is a gift, and we are worthy. We are worthy of this light. We are worthy to shine bright in a life that's filled with soul. We are worthy of this love. We are worthy and enough for a life that's filled with soul. This dream we dream is a gift. This remembering is a gift. This melody repeats in you and me. It is a gift, and we are worthy. This melody repeats in you and me. It is a gift, and we are worthy.
Beautiful song.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is a gift. We are worthy to receive it. So thank you. Thank you so much. This is a time we invite you to participate in the law of circulation. We know that this circulation is as you give, so you receive in so many ways. And as you receive, so you give. There's a correlation in that. So if we could ask the ushers to come forward. There are many different ways to donate. Some of you donate online or by texting or any number of ways. So we know that some of you may give today during the service or during the service online. We appreciate that. So whatever way you choose to give, whether it be of the heart or the soul, could you advance that slide? I don't have my clicker with me. There's a, what, for the affirmation? So we hold our hands to our heart in affirming that which we're giving, and we say, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate, and so it is.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day, this healing, this healing day, this healing day. Sing it with me. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day, this healing, this healing day, this this day, this healing day. This healing day.
Thank you. So this is also the first Sunday of the month, and a couple things about that is we usually like to have a discussion with me out in the courtyard. We still don't have a good courtyard yet, so that'll be here in the sanctuary. And I would love to hear from you what kind of things came up for you about ways that you think you can serve, ways you already serve, or more ways you could serve in this love, serve, and remember idea. So come and join me right in here. We'll just create a little circle, and we'll have some coffee. We'll come back in at a little before noon, but have some time to get some coffee and snacks, and then come in here. And then also the first of the month, we like to celebrate people's birthdays and anniversaries. So does anybody have an April birthday you're willing to raise your hand? And you got an April birthday back there? Anybody else? Another April birthday? What about anniversary? Anybody have an anniversary in April? Nope. Okay. We also honor anybody who has a sobriety anniversary in April. I know that's anonymous, so you don't necessarily raise your hand about that, but we know that's a journey. That's an important journey for many, many people and an important spiritual path. We also like to welcome new visitors who might be here for the first time. If you're here for the first time, if you could raise your hand. A couple ladies right there. Welcome. Anybody else? Good. Well, we have a blessing here for our new people at our birthdays. So we just raise our hand and we say, we bless you today, knowing that the peace and happiness you seek is also seeking you. We honor your inner radiance as we let your light shine in the world. We are grateful for your presence in our community, and so it is. There's also an invitation to prayer after the service, to stay here with I don't see any practitioners here today. Oh, we have one practitioner there. So Peggy will be here. If you want to come up, Peggy, she'd be glad to pray with you, or there's prayer request in the lobby or also online. You can do that as well. We'll have the time after prayers are finished to have a discussion here, and then pick up some of those flyers that are out in the lobby. Dale, why don't you pass those out as they leave today, if you could do that? The cards there, they're invitation for the sip and savor. And then come for the communion, come for the labyrinth, and especially come for Easter, because I think we can, right? Have a courtyard. We'll see. Next week, we're looking for it. Oh yeah, that's next week, right? Let's all stand for the congregational affirmation. Repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. I'm led by Spirit. I'm guided by wisdom. I'm protected by love. I am here to be a blessing. I am so grateful. And so it is.
Blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. One more time. Blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen.
So as we go forth, let us allow ourselves to ripen up and be spiritually magnificent. Blessings, everybody. Have a great sunny Sunday.
Blowing in the wind, you put down roots and broken through the pavement like it's paper thin. When you go against the crowd, they try to cut you down. You cannot be broken. You're rising from the ground. Stronger than you know. You're brilliant. You're brilliant. When you let your color show, you're flower. You won't be down below. Resilient. You're brilliant. You're strong. Lone voice in the desert, in 1,000 miles of heat. Some days you wonder how you're standing on your feet. When you feel you're growing weak, no one hears your cries. Remember you are here on earth to bloom and to inspire. You won't bow down to the crowd when they try to cut you down. You will not be broken. You're rising from the ground. Resilient, stronger than you know. You're brilliant. When you let your color show, you won't be down below. Resilient, you're brilliant, you're strong. Show me how, when I'm down, I can get back up again, and again, and again. Stronger than you know. You're brilliant, you're brilliant. When you let your color show, you're flower. You won't be down below. Resilient, you're brilliant. You're stronger than you know. Resilient, stronger than you know. When you let your color show, you're flower. You won't be down below. Resilient, you're brilliant, you're strong. You're a wildflower in a field of gray concrete. Got my hot cappuccino. Don't forget the whipped cream. Cute guy at the counter winked at me. I reached into my pocket of my old blue jeans